410. Good afternoon. Welcome back to The Drive. I'm your host, Dan Michaels. Paulie Lyons is our producer, and Mr. Paul Jurgens is in the KFGO News Center. More news coming up at 4:30 this afternoon. I've got Red Hawks tickets to give away today, too. Well, we're really pleased to have this young lady joining us on the line today. Amy Norsett is also Amy Unruh, as you might have known her when she was a single lady on television, both at KVLY, WDAY. And nowadays, Amy is the communications specialist with the Fargo Public Schools. She's working with Trollwood Performing Arts School in her position today, talking about the play and tickets going on sale. Welcome to KFGO, Amy Norsett. Hi, Amy.
Hi. Thank you so much. What a great introduction there. You really hyped me up a little bit.
Well, it's all just true stuff, and we're all fans of yours around here, too. Amy is a mom nowadays, too. Can you tell us about your children? Your child?
Yes, well, I have one child. Yep, he is 2.5 years old. His name is Harrison, and he is really acting like a 2.5-year-old these days. A little rambunctious and very inquisitive and learning a lot every day, so it's really fun. And I'm just so happy that I can be his mom. I'm so blessed to be his mom, and you know, I'm learning a lot more about cars and trucks than I ever thought I would. I anticipated being a girl mom for some odd reason. I only had sisters, so that's all I ever knew. But now I get to play with cars and trucks and Legos and all those fun things.
It sounds so fun. And your husband is a big star over at Midco.
Oh, yes, he is. He's actually quite busy today because he is working with a lot of sports broadcasters around the region because, you know, sports is kind of over for high school sports and college sports right now. And so then all the sportscasters around the state kind of gather and make some plans and everything. So he's busy doing that. But, yes, he worked at WDAY for a very long time, so we got to be on air together. And that was such a treat. I know some people say they can't work with their spouse or significant other, but it was really a great working relationship. So we were with each other enough on set and working a little bit together, but we are also separated enough. I know that some people appreciate that separation from work and home, though.
Well, you know, and when you were working with him, you know, he was in sports and you're in news, and believe me, folks, inside of a television station, those are two different worlds. So I imagine,
they are.
Yeah, you guys had to make an appointment, I'm sure, to have lunch or something together.
Yeah, we did have some lunches, but it was like, you know, the news producer, when you're in the news side, you kind of control how much time each person gets in the show. So he'd have to, you know, suck up to me a little bit, buy me some flowers or something if he wanted a little extra time, or, you know, throw a compliment my way.
So we want to get to Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, and we will, but this is just too good here right now. So, Amy, how did he ask you out the very first time? Do you remember?
Oh, gosh, the very first time. Well, I mean, our story's kind of funny. He was working at WGAZ in Grand Forks for a long time, and I was working there as an intern. And, well, I mean, okay, so long story short, I kind of tricked him into hanging out with me by getting his other friend to come and hang out with my friends.
So it was you.
Yes, but after that, he invited me to attend his house for the evening to watch a movie. And I didn't have his phone number at that point, and I kind of thought that it was like a prank almost because, I don't know, I was kind of skeptical. I didn't have his phone number, and there was no way to get a hold of him, so I just didn't know what to do. But I showed up at his house, and we watched a movie.
And that was the first one?
Yes, and it was actually on the station that he was working at, on the ABC affiliate. And a promo for him came up during it, and that was like a big deal to us, and that was kind of just a little moment there. And, you know, it was just one of those things where we hit it off right away. I got to see him on TV and under the camera lights, and I joke that that's the only reason why I fell in love with him, because the lights were shining on him like lights from the heavens opened up.
Oh, for sweet. That's really cool. Well, Amy, it's neat to have you with us. It's neat to talk with you about the old man and everything today. Appreciate you joining us. So let's talk a little bit. So, Amy, what is your relation with Trollwood Performing Arts? Just so that we're all clear, your job lists you as a communications specialist with Fargo Public Schools. How does that get you? How does that get you with Trollwood Performing Arts School?
Yeah, so Trollwood Performing Arts School is a specialized program that's part of Fargo Public Schools. It's located in Moorhead, so that gets a little bit confusing. But, back in the day when that happened, it was because there was land available and space. And there was a good partnership that was worked out with the city of Moorhead with Fargo Public Schools. So it was just a really great place that we could put this phenomenal world-class facility. So that's why it's in Moorhead, but it's part of Fargo Public Schools. And as a communications specialist for Fargo Public Schools, we're trying to kind of bring everything a little bit together. And so I specialize in Trollwood during the summer and part-time throughout the winter when there's not much going on. So when I'm not doing district office work, I'm doing Trollwood office work. And so I get the pleasure of promoting that and hanging out at Trollwood during the summer, which is just that is a huge blessing. I mean, who wouldn't want to be surrounded by all that beautiful nature and the music and entertainment 24/7 in the summer? It's great.
Well, that is really cool. And, speaking of, Moorhead and Fargo, we was just talking with a guest not too long ago about, how we just kind of, everybody who lives here, I think, just kind of looks at Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo, Glendon, everybody around here. It's just one town. We're all from one place. So,
Yeah, and, it's not just Fargo Public School students that can be part of Trollwood. Anybody can be from, if you're in kindergarten to graduated seniors, you can be in Trollwood no matter where you live. A lot of students of ours are from West Fargo, Moorhead, DGF. We have one student who's from Grafton. She's in the Main Stage Musical this year. We have another Main Stage Musical cast member who's from Wahpeton. So people do come around the region, and we've had people from all over the country, actually, who have heard about Trollwood come all the way here for that.
And, that just makes us all the better, So,
yes.
So Trollwood Performing Arts School, the box office is now open, and tickets went on sale today. Tell us about the show that's coming up in July, Amy.
Well, we are so excited to finally have Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella this summer. We had planned for that last summer, but as you know, COVID kind of put a damper on a lot of things. So before everything shut down for COVID, we cast Cinderella with all the students. So at the point where we had to cancel everything, we just felt so bad for these students who were going to be robbed of this position. Cinderella is a dream show for a lot of people. So we wanted to make sure that they could have that opportunity and fulfill their dream of being in Cinderella. So we invited all of our students back who were already cast, and almost all of them came back, including Cinderella herself. She is just a phenomenal actress and performer. You've seen her in plenty of other shows that we've had, like Freaky Friday. She was cast in that as a main role. So you will get to see that. And Cinderella, really, Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella is a little bit different than the Disney version that some people may know. But Dan, you seem to be a big Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella fan, is what I'm getting from a little bit of talks that we've had.
Well, I fell in love with Leslie Ann Warren when she was a young lady and played Cinderella in the TV version. That's from '65, and I was only 3, but they must have replayed that a couple of times in the '60s and the early '70s or whatever, because and my wife, as a matter of fact, we're both basically the same age, and she has fond memories of when that was on TV. There were only 3 channels back in those days, so when something was on, that's what was on. And I remember Mom tuning that in, and I fell in love with the story of Cinderella and everything from that production. Yeah. So is the Trollwood production close to that one?
Oh, yes. So there have been some remakes of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella through the years, but it's very close to it. And so as you were talking about, a lot of people fell in love with this version of it. It's just so iconic and so magical. This is a Cinderella that is empowered, and she really takes charge of her life, and she's such a great person and sweet. The Disney character of Cinderella is a little bit more just there for the love. This Cinderella is there for the love, but she's there for herself as well and doing some good stuff for the world. So this is a really family-friendly show, and it is really funny. It will make you laugh out loud. When I read the script, it just made me chuckle the entire time because it is so much fun to read. It's got, the pumpkins, the glass slipper, the Prince Charming, and everything. It is so much fun, and the kids that are part of this, they just put everything into it. They have their main stage musical practices that they do 6 days a week. Some of them have all day at Trollwood, all day and all night, because they are in some of the programming and doing a lot of the rehearsals, and they are just so dedicated and such talented students that it seems far beyond anything that you've ever seen for high school shows.
And where will the show take place at?
It is going to be in our Imagine Amphitheater as usual. So if you've never been to Trollwood, just imagine a beautiful, huge green space next to the river with lots of trees, lots of outdoor seating. And this really is a world-class facility. It was built and designed specifically for Trollwood, and a lot of different places around the country actually reach out trying to replicate it because it is so unique. It's a beautiful amphitheater, seats roughly 2,500 people, give or take, on the seating that we have there. So we have just the beautiful landscaping, and one little inside tidbit that I've been telling people: some of the production of the scene has already started. So if you come out to the box office to get your tickets, you can go and you can take a little peek and see kind of a sneak peek of what it looks like already. You can also, people have been coming out and trying to sit in some of the reserve seating areas and say, okay, I like this spot. I want to go buy this ticket. And they go back to our box office and pick that one out specifically. That's
pretty cool. And speaking of the box office, how do we get tickets? Is somebody in the car right now, somebody wrapping up things at work, whether they're at home, how do we get tickets?
Yeah, so pretty easy. You can go to our box office. That is at 801 50th Avenue South, located at Blue Stem Center for the Arts. You can also go online to trollwood.org. We have a big thing right on top. When you get to our website, you'll be able to easily find the tickets. You can also call our box office at 218-477-6502. And also, just to put it out there, it was crazy this morning when the box office opened. People were lined up really far into Trollwood because they're just so excited and ready for some performances like this, because Trollwood is back and it's a big deal to a lot of people and they don't want to miss out. So we actually have our opening night already sold out.
Oh.
It is amazing, and a couple other nights are getting close to selling out. So it just shows that people want this to be back, and they are so excited about Cinderella. It will truly be a magical time.
So make sure you get your tickets, 218-477-6502, or trollwood.org, or the box office. Performance dates are July 14th through the 17th, the 21st through the 24th, and the 28th through the 31st, all in July. All July performance dates. Everything is at trollwood.org. Trollwood.org. By the way, Amy Norsett is our special guest today. Amy is communications specialist with Fargo Public Schools. She's in charge of Trollwood Performing Arts. And Amy, when I do a search for Jody Norsett on Googly Googly, a picture of you two guys comes up on set at Channel 6.
It's probably a really old one.
Well, I really can't tell.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so if you guys want to look at these two together again, they're right there. Just do a Google for Jody Norsett. And the picture of them will come up.
Funny story, actually, about that. When he left to go to Midco, people were calling the station wondering if we had gotten divorced because he was no longer working there. We're still together. We are still happily married. We just don't work with each other anymore.
Which means they'll be married forever now. Oh, you guys.
Yes.
Thanks so very much. Amy Norsett joining us today. Amy, let's talk again when we're getting closer to the show, okay?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for being on with us today, Amy, and have a wonderful night. KFGO is 424. You're listening to The Drive on the Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO.
You're listening to The Drive.